Hi there. I've just had a hell of a time working out how to even do this. You'll figure out why in a second. I haven't made a video in I have no idea how long. But I'm sick and I'm not thinking right, and that's one of the reasons I haven't made a video. It's been even longer since I've made a video of substance, so I'm going to try to get that in somewhere here. Okay, where to start? Fill in, short, quick life update. I got a new computer, which you can't see because I'm using its camera to film this. It's a gorgeous new MacBook Pro, and because of a student discount, it was cheaper than getting just a new MacBook, because my old MacBook had crapped out a long time ago, and it was like 5 years old, and there was this place that was not the mouse that I could press and it would click, and it was really weird and not working and dying and all that shit. So I got a MacBook Pro, and it's a reason that I was having so much shit and trouble trying to figure out how to record a video. Also, this is the first time all my roommates have been out in weeks, so yeah. But I was having trouble because I was on iMovie, and usually it lets you record using the built-in camera, but I couldn't find the option to do that, and I spent like an hour searching the internet and the incredibly unhelpful Mac website for how to do that, and it's just not working. So I had to do this whole roundabout thing where I'm now recording video on Photo Booth, which you can do on the new version of Photo Booth. I had no idea. So I'm recording the video on Photo Booth and then copying it over to my desktop and then importing that as a clip onto iMovie HD, and it's going to be a pain in the ass, so I hope you all appreciate this. But yeah, it's a Saturday, and so what am I doing in my random spare free time, which I usually don't have? I'm making a video for you guys. So like I said, life updates, roommates are out, I'm sick as fuck, have been for like a month, and I got a new computer. Also, fun fact, my boyfriendy type thing, unofficial, weird man toy, his Game Boy broke, so I was spending a lot of my time playing the Pokemon Yellow, Gold, and Blue that he left me because I have a working Game Boy Advance. For you Hitchhiker's Guide nerds out there, I've started a game where my character is called Arthur, my enemy is Agrajag, and my Pikachu is Wowbagger, the Infinitely Prolonged. So yes. Also in life, as I may have mentioned, I was in a one-act play by Woody Allen in which I actually played Woody Allen, which was interesting, and I've seen far more Woody Allen interviews than I would have ever hoped was possible. So yes, I spent all that time being weird and awkward and neurotic, and worked out well, apparently. I got a lot of compliments on my performance. But now I'm in another one-act play. My school does a series of plays called the Breakaway Plays, where it's 3 or 4 student-written plays that are performed by students, directed by students, and all that. So I'm in my friend Josh's play, in which I play one of the 3 parts of the psyche. There's 2 main characters, and each of their characters has 3 psyches that are on stage with them. I'm pretty much the impulsive, rash, irritating part of the psyche. Just as an example, one of my lines is cut his balls off with a butter knife, because whatever. Don't worry about it, I'm excited about saying that line. That's that. Yes, on to the slightly substantive part of this. I want to tell you about 2 books, that's 4, but 2 books. One of them I haven't read yet, but I'm really excited about reading, and it's also incredibly nerdy. The other one is still incredibly nerdy, but I'm most of the way through it, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. So, first book. First book is, it's a memoir written by one of my favorite Doctor Who companions, Adric. If you don't like Adric, you know what? Fuck you, I don't understand you. I love Adric so much. So, this book is written by Matthew Waterhouse, who played Adric. I don't know if this is going to wind up being reversed on your screen, because I have no idea how this photo booth camera works. But, hey, it's called The Blue Box Boy, it's written by Matthew Waterhouse, and, it's signed. it's signed. So there's that, and that's awesome. And the guy who I got the book from also included, because he was really late in sending it to me and he felt bad, so he included a postcard for, well, it's not really a postcard, but a little photo of the cover of Colin Baker's book, signed by Colin Baker. So I wasn't planning on starting a Doctor Who autograph collection, but I might as well because I've got 2 of them so far. I mean, not 2 of the Doctors, but 2 autographs, and ignore me, I'm slightly out of my mind right now. So, there's that. There's that, and next book. This is the one I'm going to be talking more about, because the last one I'm really excited about, but I haven't actually read it yet. So, that was me opening my stuck-shut drawer. If I can find the book, that'd be better. Be right back. So yes, like I said, I'm a hot mess right now, so, I might be adding things later if I completely forget. I don't know. I've barely eaten today. I've had like 3 cups of coffee. I'm sick. I've mentioned all this. Moving on. Next book. This is a really fun one. It's nerdy, but in a different way than the last one, which was just sci-fi nerdy. This one is like real-life physics geek nerdy. It's the newest book by Stephen Hawking and Leonard Mlodinow. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. Stephen Hawking, that's the main point. It's called The Grand Design. Again, I don't know if that's going to be backwards or reversed on your screen, because fuck this camera. But it's called The Grand Design. It's by Stephen Hawking and Leonard Mlodinow. I don't know. It's Mlodinow, in case you want to look it up. But I have no idea how to say it, so we're moving on. And this book, it basically, it's about quantum theory, and what I love about it is that it pretty much simplifies quantum theory to the point where a layperson can begin to grasp the frayed, weird fucking edges of it. And it's, God, I love it, and it's given me a new tattoo idea, which is the first of the Feynman diagrams, if anyone knows what those are. I can try to find a picture in here. There's pictures in it. But yeah, so, like I said, I can almost basically grasp the fringes of the quilt that is quantum theory. But yes, I want to get that, which is a basic diagram of how 2 electrons interact and how the photons fizz back and forth between them. There's a long series of complicated diagrams that, sort of quilt that out, but I want to get the first one, and I want to get it right here as just sort of a tribute to my love of physics and figuring out how things work and technobabble, basically. I love it. But yes, that's why I love this book, because it allows me to grasp things that are vastly complicated, but that I still really love, but that I don't want to get a master's degree in. Yeah, I've switched my major to English and philosophy with a theater minor, so 2 majors, 1 minor, none of them are physics, but I still like physics and I want to know about it, so that's why this book is helpful. Sorry if I'm talking really fast. Like I said, I'm completely out of my mind right now. But this book, I do have one problem with it, which is that there's, well, kind of two-ish problems. I mean, one of them, I'll go with the ish problem first. The ish problem is the chapter where it gets into M theory, and M theory is really sketchy as it is, so there's really no way to describe it well. Which is really my problem, is that it's not really flatly laid out in the book what M theory is, but I guess that's not really a problem with the book so much as science in general, and because no one's really figured out a flat, serious theory of M theory, which is a really weird, if you want to look it up, go look it up. It's really weird. It's sort of the newest attempt at combining all the electromagnetic forces and gravity and the way things work into one giant overarching theory, which is fairly difficult, so, kudos for even getting anywhere on it. But M theory is really sketchy, and it's not really laid out well, and I had to do a lot of side research to figure out what it even was, so, But my main problem, which is where it gets into the whole atheist thing, which I haven't talked about in forever, so yay! If you're following me for that, then good on ya! This is where all your waiting comes in. But there's one chapter where he talks about the It's called The Apparent Miracle, and I'll get into that in a second, but it's pretty much a chapter on Earth-like planets and how rare they are. Which is all good and fine, except that he defines, it's not really about Earth-like planets, but it's about planets where life could develop. My problem there is that he defines planets where life could develop as Earth-like planets, which is where we get into my whole problem with it. Because he defines life as pretty much human and animal and plant life as we know it. He doesn't really include extremophiles and things like that, which are things that we know exist and that can exist in these really weird, goddamn awful places, like fucking hot water vents and freezing glaciers, or God knows what. Forgive my God in there, I don't know. But he sets out the green zone, which is a scientific fact, and it's, how far a planet has to be based on its size and the size of its sun, from the sun, in order for human-like life to develop. And that's how he defines life-bearing planets, which is just completely fucking false, because we have no idea what other forms life could take. And, scientists have created a form of life that uses arsenic instead of phosphorus or something, and it's completely ridiculous, and we have no idea what the limits on life are. So, personally, I think that, restricting life-bearing planets to Earth-like planets is completely off your fucking rocker. So, there's my first problem. The second one is the title of the chapter, which really defines the way the chapter is written. The chapter is called The Apparent Miracle, and the way he writes the chapter, it's really irritating to me. Let's see if I can find an example. But, I mean, it's going to be hard to find an example because it's just the tone of the chapter. I mean, I'm sure he didn't mean it, because Stephen Hawking is fairly atheistic, but the way the chapter's written, he uses a lot of phrases like, without this, we couldn't be here, or if this one thing changed, we wouldn't be here. And, if this one tiny fraction of a percentage was different, we would all die out. It's probably not a good example, or 3 good examples, but the thing is, he writes the chapter with the tone that these things that allow us to live in this wonderful little balance in which we live were created around us, and that we are the only way life can exist. And, by the way, sorry for the weird changing of lighting, my computer screen keeps darkening, and I like seeing myself when I talk, so I keep moving it. But yes, he makes it sound as though we and the life we know are the only possible life that could exist, and therefore we're lucky to exist in a universe where all these things are in the correct balance and the laws of nature are right for us. And that's my problem, because my theory on life is that life is far more vast and complicated than we could possibly know, and under just about any circumstances it could arise, because it's just another combination of particles. That's all it is. And in a universe where gravity goes in a different direction, and this is working on a multiverse theory here, but in a multiverse where all the different universes have all these different natural laws, I mean, we can't even fucking imagine it, because we live in 4 dimensions, and gravity pulls us towards the mass, and all this stuff that we take for granted, because that's just the way our universe is. But in a universe where all these laws are completely different, who's to say that some kind of life couldn't evolve there? I mean, who fucking knows? That's my point. The guy acts like human life is the only possible life, or animal life as we know it is the only possible way life could exist. But we don't even know. We have no idea, because there's no way for us to find out. And saying that we're lucky to live in a universe with these specific laws, and on a planet with this distance from the sun, and with this kind of axial rotation, it's really egotistical. It's incredibly there it goes again. It's incredibly egotistical, because, I mean, it's the same reason I hate the idea of creation. It's not even that I hate it, it's completely ridiculous, but I also hate it, because it assumes that the laws of the universe were created to facilitate our existence. And that's how the guy writes the chapter. Not that, you know, the laws of the universe created us and we arose because of those circumstances, but rather that our existence was a factual necessity and the laws of the universe worked around that. And if those laws didn't exist, there would be no life. My point is, we have no idea how far the idea of life extends. We don't know its limits. We can't possibly know. And, you know, just a Star Trek episode, they find a creature that's based on silicone. Why the fuck not? We don't know. And that's my point, is that we are not the only possible life forms. The life forms we know are not the only possible life forms. So, if our universe had different laws, that doesn't necessarily mean life couldn't exist. And that's the way it's written, and that's what bothers me about this book. I mean, granted, it's a tiny portion of the book. It's only one chapter where he talks about Earth-like planets. But it's a biggie for me. It really irked me. It got under my skin. Whatever you want to call it. It bothered me. Other than that, it's really cool. Just my favorite point in it, on a completely different note, going from incredibly pissed off to, woo, science. One of the really cool discoveries they've made, well, it's kind of a discovery. It's more like they made an observation, and this is how they're trying to explain it. The observation, well, read the book, but basically they observed that the only possible way that photons could land the places they do when they move is, in the patterns that they land, is that photons, when they move, simultaneously move through every possible path. Meaning that when a photon moves from one place to another, it doesn't just go A-B straight line. It goes A-B straight line, it goes curvy, it goes woo, it goes around the fucking universe and back, and what that means, and this is one of the most mind-blowing things I've ever heard, is that all histories occur simultaneously. Every possible movement of the photon occurs. Therefore, our concept of time, which is linked to space, is pretty much moot. And this is why I love it, because I love Doctor Who. Time is not linear. Time is a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. And Doctor Who has just been proven right, once again. So, on that note, the fact that time actually is a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff, I leave you. Well, not exactly on that note, because I'm probably going to talk a little bit more now. Basically, well, you know, I don't really have anything else to say, other than, I've got a crunch bar that's waiting for me here, and it needs my immediate attention, because, as I said, I haven't eaten much today. Also, I'm really, I don't know if I'm hyper or sick or both, but, you can probably tell that I'm not quite normal at the moment. So yeah, I really just wanted to give you guys a little video, a pick-me-up, because I haven't done anything in a while, and I like to think there was some substance buried somewhere in my insane ramblings, but I hope you got something out of this video, and I'm going to stop talking incredibly fast and let you get on with your evening. So, good night.